I'm going GT fishing next week, and I really thought it'd be a good chance to go through all of these bits and pieces and just have a quick little talk about what's in my tackle box, really. So anyway, I've kind of broken everything into about 3 or 4 categories. We've got 60 to 100 gram popping and casting, sinking, floating stick baits, heavy sinking stick baits, popping, and heavy floating stick baits. I've got quite an assortment of, like 60 gram cast poppers, cast floating stick baits, also 60 grams. These are awesome. And that's a sinking stick bait as well. So 7 or 8 of those, just to have a nice little bit of variety for a little bit of flats fishing. And it's kind of good to have a few spares here and there when you're fishing with the lighter stuff, because you're fishing on that low reef and pretty high chance of losing stuff. So I've overpacked a little bit on this stuff. I probably won't need it all, but I'm a little bit OCD and I kind of like to have spares. So on to sinking stick baits. I've kind of reduced this down to 5 sinking stick baits. Got a 80 gram West Coast, 100 gram West Coast, and a 120 in this awesome Jester colour. I think that purple's going to get some nibs this trip, so I'll be casting that. Little Cast Collab 120 gram sinking stick bait. Just in case the wind's up a bit, it'll be good to have something a little bit heavier that I can cast a mile. And can't leave home without this guy. He's been pummeled a little bit. I don't know if that's focusing properly, but this guy has seen some violence already. Hopefully you'll see some more. So popping was a really hard decision. I decided to retire this one because it looks awesome on that photo. But 120 gram EB pop, because they have mad hook exposure. Pretty hard to pass on that. 2 cast pop till you drop, 125 grams. Really want to bring 3, but I'm going to leave it at 2. And a few down unders, a white one and a shiny yellow, kind of the colour scheme one. That's all the poppers I'm bringing. I have a feeling that I'm going to probably lose a couple of those and whatever. So 90 gram OG stick bait floating. Another Cast Collab, which is I think about 100 gram floating stick bait. Got 2 120s. I've started rigging this one up because I think it's probably one of the first things I'm going to cast this trip. Big stick baits, and I wanted just a little bit of colour variety, and the pink hollow thing that's going on there is pretty awesome. So I'm going to bring the Dive Star along as well. That's a 220mm 130 gram rig thereabouts. So that's pretty much it actually. Just quietly as well, my mate Nick Panda gave me a few of his little garage homemade prototype poppers to try out on this trip. It's like a little, that's alright. That little guy has like a little 60 gram white hollow popper. Got a 90 gram one here as well. Slightly bigger floating stick bait. I think it's about 110 grams. And this wicked little sinking stick bait. It's got a really cool little upright profile on it. So I think this will be a bit of fun to work over the flats as well. That's not going to focus for me. I think I need to get my head out of the shot. So shout outs to Nick for A, trusting me to test out his lure prototypes, and B, making sure I actually caught up with him to come and pick him up, because he's been trying to catch up with me for like 4 or 5 weeks now, and I've been busy. This crazy December, January, February period. Thanks for being persistent, mate, and cheers for the trust in letting me try out your babies. I'm very keen. So I'm trying to burn through this as quickly as possible. Leader, 80 pound, 140 and 200 pound. Probably going to use all of them. maybe 80 for the flat stuff. I might pack 100 as well. So we'll see. Solids and splits. Bunch of like single Diablos and some skirts and bits and pieces that I can throw on jigs in the field. Expo 5500 with PE6 Saltiga EX braid. Bring in the 18K, which is spooled with PE8 Saltiga EX. And the 14K, which will be spooled with also with PE8 of that Daiwa EX stuff. I just rate it. I haven't had problems. I haven't lost any fish or had any failures, so if it ain't broke, don't fix it. We'll be doing a bit of jigging, so bringing the Saltiga 15 as well, which is spooled with PE4 of the Saltiga EX as well. And move the camera over here. And I'll make sure I don't dox myself with that. Move that out of the way. Move some of this stuff. So we've got a little bag of jigs. And so two 250-gram deep hitters, one 200, two blue-ish 150s, and two pink 150s. Got like a little assortment of kickers. They're all about 125 and some 80s and 100s. And in the back here, just a few old nomads and a couple of missing at sea jigs that I'd floating about, just in case we need a bit of variety out there. So I've already taken a few out of that. I had planned to pack more big jigs, just in case we ended up doing some doggy fishing. But just with the wind being, I don't know, not amazing, and wanting to spend more time on GTs, I think I'm just going to leave it at that. That's enough jigs to keep me busy, and you know, if there's a doggy about, I can just borrow one of Jason's rods and get tucked in on the 18K. This camera's just wanting to fall off at the moment, so. Okay, so lures, reels, terminal, rodneys. Starting from the heavy stuff. That's a Nomad PE 8 to 10, casts like 80 to 150 grams. That's what I caught most of my larger fish on my last trip. And, oh shit. I actually had the Expo on this once upon a time, and it feels really good. It's really durable, it's really strong. So another shout out to Dougie for loaning me his Saltiga C58. I don't even know if that's gonna focus properly there. That thing cast to about 160 grams. I might push it over a little bit and cast that 120 gram West Coast on it, because that's gonna be like probably about 160 rigged up. We'll see. Very keen to use this rod. Loaded up the other day. Feels really good. So that's going to be my popping and heavy stick baiting rods. Also got the Nomad PE 4 to 6, which my Expo is going to go on, and that's for flats fishing and just like skull dragging trout out of 1.5 meters of water and whatnot. So yeah, that's for the Expo. I keep getting told by mates to bring like a PE3 setup along. So I'm keeping an eye on the wind at the moment. Pretty much every day is like 20 to 30 to 40 knots. So PE3 might not be that viable, but if we get a few nice days, I might pack this and then just, I don't know, pack a few little plastics or something like that as well. So yeah, last but not least, got the PE 3 to 6 Nomad slow jigging rod, but I can drop jigs up to 320 grams on this. And like I said before, I've got PE4 Saltiga braid on it, which is like a 65 pound breaking string or something like that. So pretty well matched for this rod. Should be fine for plucking up some, I don't know, reef species and whatnot. What did I miss? Got gimbal, not really a gimbal, like a popping gimbal, lightweight little thing. The most important stuff to bring along, old school zinc stick, and yeah, that's about it. Yeah, so anyway, I just thought I'd do a little bit of a what's in the bag video since I'm literally packing everything right now. And next time you see me, you should be catching a lot of GTs.